Question: is user-generated media important? Answer: are knives sharp? To give you an idea of exactly why user-generated content is important, let's consider a world without it. First off, social networks would cease to exist, at least any of them that shared public information, which is where all the voyeuristic fun comes from. You could also say goodbye to blogs, so there would be no awesome commentary and insights from people you might not otherwise know about. Oh, and of course the news wouldn't be nearly the thing it is today, because there would be no on-the-ground reporting in places where journalists couldn't get. Ah, yes, and buying things online, choosing hotels, and finding good restaurants would be profoundly more difficult because you couldn't leverage the experience and ratings of thousands of people who went before you. But seriously, the biggest loss would be in the form of entertaining videos, right? I mean, my God. We wouldn't just be missing out on a lot of free online entertainment, we would be losing out on some of the most famous stars we have today, who were in fact discovered on user-generated content sites because of their own content that they were creating. And that would be a travesty. Am I right, believers? Of course, if user-generated content did not exist, we would not just be losing out on entertaining videos and online sites, we would lose out on so many educational resources. Now just think of dancing as an example. I mean, some kid in the middle of nowhere can know every single step to Thriller because of all the various videos and guides that exist online. And that kid would otherwise have to go to some advanced dance class, or I don't know how you learn how to do it, but the internet really enables anyone to learn about things without having to have access to exclusive teachers or resources. If user-generated content didn't exist, we would also miss out on all the quick answers that we get from forum threads that have been started by people who need help on an issue that no other official publication has taken the time to address. And what about the fan fiction? And what about all the podcasts that are so entertaining and educational and awesome? Oh, and half the recipes that we use now are just found via Google. And think about all the guides that we refer to when, say, you know, the seal on our refrigerator pops out or something, and we need to know how to fix something. Most of the content we go to for these things is user-generated. And really, guys, can you imagine a world without funny cat photos? Because I can't. That's just not a world worth living in. But most importantly, if user-generated content did not exist, we wouldn't have sites like Wikipedia, which have absolutely revolutionized the way that information is shared. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to say, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if there were just some place where I could go with any question and immediately have it answered? Well, guess what? That place exists, and it's called Wikipedia. I mean, really, it's the internet at large, but so many of those answers are just created by people uploading text and images and more, and if that didn't exist, I mean, the internet wouldn't exist, and my magical question answering thing would not exist, and that would be bad. The gist is this: user-generated content is a big friggin' deal. It's not a passing fad, it's not something to be angry about, it's something to embrace and to be part of. Because when UGC is involved, especially UGC involving funny cat photos, it is fantastic.